Okay? Everyone, class beginning. This, I think, hello, lecture number 8 is what I think. The chapter is number 4. It's decision making. And decision making is about the process of how managers and in general people will usually make decisions. These are factors which I covered last time. Let me give you a quick example of factors which I use to choose a country to work. Okay? For example, when I'm choosing a country to work, question number 1 is, well, is the weather really nice? Okay, so here, Thailand, weather very nice, right? Next one, is lifestyle healthy, meaning nice, clean air, clean environment, and healthy also means good quality, healthy food, okay? And healthy also means opportunity for exercise, okay? That's also important. You all see me every day jogging around on campus, okay? Here's another factor, salary. Well, and here where we come from different things, another factor, quality of work. Am I teaching good students or not so good students, right? Are students good? Are they interested? So, the quality of the university, the quality of life, quality of health, okay? All of these are important things. And we get to the next one, which is weighing criteria. We can also say weighting. And weighting is about what is more important and what is less important. In my personal case, as I'm getting a little bit older, more important is health and good lifestyle, and less important is salary, as in money. So, for some of you, when you get a job, maybe the most important thing with the highest weight will be salary. Do you begin job with good money or not? Now, for others, the most important will be, oh, you want to get a good, high-quality job with a good company where you can grow. In salary, not very important, the first job, okay? So, weighting is about deciding what is most important, what is less important, and what is not really important. As I gave example last time, brand name for a motorcycle for me, not very important, okay? Maybe CC as in power, like 110, 125, a little bit more important, okay? So, weighting, this should be weighting, not weighing, okay? Weighting is what you put in as very important, a little bit, and you basically give weight to each decision criteria, okay? Example, this is just an example of buying a car, which they give you. For that particular buyer, price is very important. So he gives the price a big weight, a weight of 10. Then for interior comfort, he gives a weight of 8. Then for durability, gives a weight of 5. So price is very important and handling is little important for that particular buyer. Now, it's important to understand 2 things. Number 1, your weights will be different from yours, will be very different from mine. So, the weights will be different from person to person. But what's also important to understand is that the weights change for a particular person over time. 5 years ago, when I was looking for a job, I was very focused on getting big money, a lot of money, okay? So, as I was earning a lot more money and have been able to save a lot, now money is not a big focus for me, okay? So, things change. Same thing, okay? Same thing would happen for a young couple. If you have a young guy, he's living one lifestyle. When he gets married and his wife is expecting a baby, his priorities and his wife's priorities will change. You say, okay, more important, good environment, more important, healthy lifestyle for the baby. So, you have to understand that weights change from time to time for the same person. Two of you, why don't you just separate now so that, because you just keep talking over it. Yeah, the two of you, you know. Just keep separate, one of you goes out somewhere else. Yeah, because you just trouble, okay? All right. And when you have the weighting, they give you initial price, the difference. So for each car, which in this particular case, for each alternative, they give you what's the price, what is the interior, durability and everything, and you provide what's called a score. So you finally got a total of what is the performance of the car, what's the handling of a car, what's the repair record, what's the durability, and they give you different scores. You see a relatively high score of 44 is for Volkswagen Golf, okay? And you basically get Mazda and BMW 335, you know, you get the different scores. And what you want to do for each score is then put a weight on that particular score. So you're just going to get, oh, the initial price, Jeep Compass, okay, very expensive. So bad score, okay. Ford Focus, cheap, okay. So a good, well, Toyota Prius, good or bad. So basically you put in a score on each one of them, you multiply by the weight, and you get the total score or the weighted score. And again, they do the same thing. Okay, 2 multiplied by a score of 10, 20. 9 multiplied by a score of 10 is 90. So each of these, if you remember the score, the weight is 10. So here, the initial is 10. The score is 10. You multiply by the weight of 10, you get a total score of 100. What you do here is you multiply by 8. 5 by 8, 40. 5 by 8, 40. 6 by 8, 48. Again, 7 by 8, 56. So, you take the evaluation or the score, this becomes the weighted score. And then what you do is you take this, and this, you add up the total weighted score. And that's a simple quantitative method. So 20 and 80 is 100, 140, and 35 and 15 is 100 and, what is it? 140 and 50, 190, and 595, okay? You know how to use calculators. And that's basically the idea. And now you look at which number is 223 is very high, 221, 224 looks like the highest number. So based on this, 224 will be Toyota Camry as the choice. That's the largest. So that's the way you simply do it. That's the weighted method of weighting to determine what's called the best choice. So these are the alternatives. This is the score for each alternative. This is the weighted score for that particular criterion, and then you add up all criteria together. And that's it. It's fairly simple. Now for the exam, I will not be asking you to solve problems for the midterm. All right, implementing decisions. To implement means to get it done, to do the job. That's what it means, get it done. And then we have the last step in the decision process. So after you get it done, the last step in the decision process is basically evaluation. You look at what you did and decide if it's good or not good. So you've had your exam now, or your quiz. I will evaluate it, and based on the evaluation and your results, maybe I will change my teaching a little bit. But also maybe you will change your learning a little bit, okay? So you just don't do something and forget about it. When you do something, you want to see if it's good or not good, okay? The best example actually where you constantly evaluate is when you cook food in a restaurant. When you cook food in a restaurant, sometimes the cook will try the food every few minutes to see, does it taste good? Is it good on salt? Is it good on spicy? Is it good on vinegar? Is it good on whatever? Okay? A lot of times, as they just keep cooking, they'll just try to taste the food to see how it tastes. That happens a lot. Well, that's evaluating your work. And now we get to, it is a big topic, common mistakes when people make decisions, when businessmen make decisions. They make a lot of mistakes. Let's try some of the mistakes they make. This is especially true, and I specialize in this stuff actually in finance. And a lot of these mistakes are made in finance. So, number one, everyone, please quiet, okay? Overconfidence. A lot of times, most people make the biggest mistake is typically overconfidence. They think, you guys, just separate, okay? Just, yeah, the two. Yeah, just separate big time, okay? The biggest mistake is overconfidence. Usually, people think of themselves that they're way better than they are. Usually, when you ask people about, are you a good driver, they all think that they're way better drivers than the others. When real estate prices go up, people usually think that they're way better investors and they can buy a house to make them a lot more money. Sometimes they will try to open a business which other people open business. They open the same type of business. For example, everyone's opening a restaurant. They think, oh, they are bad managers. They can't run the business. I can do a better job, okay? And if I can do a better job, I open a restaurant. But they turn out to be not much better. They think they're better, but they're not much better. And that's typical overconfidence. It's one of the most common mistakes in business where businessmen think, oh, I can do anything I want to do and I'm better at doing it. And oh, it doesn't matter that they fail. I'll be okay because I'm smarter, right? So that's one typical mistake. Another typical mistake is immediate gratification. In immediate gratification, businessmen and especially people, and especially, let's say, students like you, make a common mistake of the immediate gratification, where they just want to be okay today and not thinking far into the future. Example will be, if you're not focused on immediate gratification, you will be actually studying and getting a very good education, and after 4 years of getting a great education, you will be able to have a better job, better money, better career, better lifestyle, and you are going to do way better in life just for sacrificing 2 or 3 years. In other words, sacrificing the immediate gratification to go party, to go have fun, to enjoy yourselves, to spend time with your friends and all of those things. 2 or 3 years of a sacrifice in college can make a big, big, big difference in your lives. Okay? We got a whole bunch of these. Anchoring effect is sometimes people think from a particular point of view. They think only from the recent past, okay? Example will be everybody seeing real estate prices going higher and higher and higher and higher, and they think incorrectly, they assume that real estate prices will keep going higher and higher. But the two of you also separate too, okay? Soon enough we'll just have to get people out of the room, because so people just look. This is also known and is very similar to what is called recency bias. In a recency bias, people just think that if they are doing okay in the last couple of months, that they'll be okay in the future. So they're just looking, they made a little investment like real estate, they see the real estate prices going for 3 or 4 years up, and then they think it's just going to keep going higher and higher and higher, and then they're going to be really rich by simply buying a house, which is of course totally wrong. It doesn't work like that in the real world. Okay? Sometimes people make the mistake of selective perception. In a selective perception, they usually look only at those things that they like, but don't look at things that they don't like. A different way of saying it, or a slightly different way, they only look at the positive things and don't look at the negative things. So when they analyze, they look only at part of the picture. They don't look at the other part of the picture. For example, sometimes people maybe want to buy a very nice car. In the Middle East, I already have experience with Jaguar. Jaguar is a very nice car. It's a great brand name. It's a terrific car, very well made, very high quality. But when you try to sell it, you can't. People don't want to buy it. People don't know the car. People don't understand the car, okay? So it turns out that people are willing to pay for Toyota Camry more than for a Jaguar, even though the Jaguar quality is much, much better. It's a very, very high-end luxury car, okay? But people don't want to buy it. So that's an example where sometimes people can make the mistake and say, oh, I can buy a Jaguar, it's a great car, and I can always sell it later. And they think they can sell it later, but actually they can't, because they did not check, they did not look. They look at the luxury component, but don't look at they don't think at the component of resale value, of what we call in English secondary market, okay, or used car market. In used car, Jaguar doesn't sell. BMW sells, Mercedes sells, but Jaguar just doesn't sell. Another classical bias or mistake or error, so bias or mistake, error or mistake is confirmation. Confirmation is very similar. When people make a mistake and then they're looking for that particular mistake. If they see good news or confirmation, they choose to look at it. If they don't see good news, or if they see bad news after the fact, they just ignore it, okay? So, an example will be, you're taking 6 courses. And when it takes 6 courses, you look at quiz 1 in one course and say, oh, I did a great job. You look at the second exam, you did a great job. You look at the third exam, you did a great job. And you conclude that you're a great student. Ignoring the fact that you fail in course number 4, in course number 5 you fail, in course number 6 you fail. Again, this is similar to selective bias, but after you make the decision, okay? You just don't look at those things that you don't like. You only look at things that you actually like. And you also have a whole bunch of other problems. You will be effectively seeing your thing. Another common is hindsight. Hindsight means, oh, if I have known this, and if I knew in advance, I would never make the mistake. Hindsight is if you know something happened, but then you say, well, I didn't know about it. I had here like 5 days ago, I had a really bad accident associated with hindsight. I'm walking nearby the 7-Eleven, and right next to 7-Eleven, little dog is just walked by. I didn't do anything, just bite my leg. And I said, oh, if I had known, I would have done this or walked, say. And it's very easy to say, oh, if I had known that the dog will bite me, okay? I did not suspect that it will do, okay? So sometimes it's very easy to make the mistake of, oh, if I had known that this would happen, or now that I know that things would happen, okay? But before the decision, or when you make the decision, you did not know about it, okay? So it's a very common mistake. Like buying the house went up for 1 or 2 years, and then the house goes down and down and down and down, and they say, oh, if I knew that the house would fall down and I'll lose money, I would not buy it, okay? And then they use some selective perception, and they say, okay, but it's going to come back again. So maybe it's not a bad investment, okay? When it's just going to keep going down and down. So you will read for all of these different types of mistakes, because believe me, I make all of these mistakes quite often, and you, every one of you, make all of these mistakes, and pretty much anyone in the world, even the best managers, the best decision makers, they make these mistakes quite commonly, many times a day, okay? So you should be aware that's going to be very helpful in your personal life. All right, so explain the 3 approaches, the main approaches that managers can use to make decisions. So basically managers have 3 fundamental approaches to decision making, okay? And they talk about the decision. So what are, first of all, let's discuss, what are decisions that managers make. Now you zoom in on the planning part. And for the planning, managers should decide what are the long-term objectives. Think of the president of this university. What is the long-term objective? Is the long-term objective to get more students? Is the long-term objective to add more majors, to add more degrees, to add more master's degrees, to add more PhD degrees? What is the overall objective? Is the objective to improve the quality of life on campus, like opening fitness, like opening swimming pool, okay? Or the comfort by adding, I don't know, refrigerator in every room? I mean, you need to find out what is, if you're the president, you have to find out what is the objective or the long-term goal of his business. Then, for any manager, for any business, you need to decide what are the main strategies. Strategies is the approach, how to get these objectives done. That's next chapter, and next chapter is planning. Soon you'll have to separate two, okay? There is, the two of you. So, strategies. Yeah, just fun time, right? Well, after 10 or 15 minutes, right? You're gonna have all the fun in the world. We still have about 10 minutes left. So, every manager has got to decide how to accomplish the objectives, how to open a brand new faculty here, a brand new department, or a brand new school. How to do that? Is he going to need more professors? Where to bring the professors? Are they going to need more buildings? Are they going to need more dorm rooms? So you need the strategy, and then you need a specific plan. And this is what should be the organization's short-term objectives. So for every manager, you need to know long-term objectives, short-term objectives. You also should have, how difficult should these goals be? So, should we give them big, hard goals or easy goals? In our example over here, should I give you an easy quiz or a very hard quiz, okay? So, we need to figure those things out. On organizing, how many employees? In the university's case, how many new professors you're going to need? How much centralization? So, if you have a brand new faculty, like all the other faculties, do you need a highly centralized, or you need the departments to be relatively independent? Well, in the classical universities like in the United States and we have in Bulgaria, they're very, very, very decentralized. Each department is totally independent. They decide their own schedule, they decide this, they decide that, they hire their own people. Administration cannot interfere with the work of different departments. So, some universities, especially Western universities, departments and faculties are totally independent of administration. Here in Asia, I see the opposite. Here in Asia, departments are not independent, but you guys here have huge centralization. So, administrations tell professors what kind of exams to do, when to do them, how to do them, what's the program. You should have this course, you cannot have that course. If you want to change your program, we have to approve it, okay? So that's big administration and big centralization. Again, I'm not saying it's good, I'm not saying it's bad, okay? But big centralization is a big risk. And the risk is that if the centralization method is bad, it affects negatively every single department. to the point where the whole university, the whole institution can just go bad, okay? If you have independent departments, if one department is bad, you shut down the department. The other departments are okay. And if one department is really good, it's attracting more students and the department grows, okay? So, in a decentralized system, those that are good can grow and those that are bad can shrink. And we can go on. How, should jobs be designed? What are the job positions and everything else? When should the organization implement a different structure? In other words, at what point to open a new university branch, or at what point to open a new faculty? So all of these are questions associated with the organization. Questions associated with leading will be, how do I handle employees who are not motivated? So you always have employees that are not motivated. What do? You just send them home and say, look, you're not working hard, go back home, you're fired, okay? If they are low in motivation, do you raise their salary to increase their motivation? Or you just say the opposite, look, you're not motivated, I'll lower your salary. When you start working harder, I'll increase back your salary. So you have to work with motivation. What is the most effective leadership style in a given situation? So in a restaurant, you're going to have one leadership style. In a university, you're going to have a different one. Okay? In a hotel, it's still going to be different. Okay? So different types of businesses will have different leadership style. And changes. What changes are needed? What is a normal change to affect worker productivity? You have to understand that salaries, income comes from better productivity. At the same time, profits come from better productivity. How do you increase the productivity of workers? Here in Asia, I see everywhere the same thing. Productivity is simply increased by increasing the hours of work. You're not going to work 8 hours, you're going to work 10 hours. We call this squeezing more out of the worker. And then they say, okay, you're going to work 12 hours. And then they say, oh, you're going to work 6 hours a week, okay? And you're getting more and more and more out of the worker, but that causes a big problem. And the problem is worker dissatisfaction. Worker not happy. You increase the hours, you try to get more and more, the worker is not happy. What is the worker going to do? Find another job. Get out of here, okay? That's a very, very, very common response when you try to squeeze workers harder and harder and they're not very happy. And again, what is the right time to stimulate conflict? If there's conflict or no conflict, how you resolve conflict, and control. What is the feedback and everything else? I'm not going to go and read through the PowerPoint. All right, so we're discussing back the different models and the different ways that managers make decisions. And one of the main approaches is called the rational model. And in the rational model, you have rational decision making. Rational means you analyze, you think about it, you're very careful, and you make the best decision, and you say choices are consistent with maximizing value. So, rational means you try to get the best value. So, if you're going to spend 40,000 baht or on a motorcycle, you want to get the best motorcycle for you. With the best brand name that you like, the best color that you like, the best or biggest engine that you like. So you're going to try to get the best value for your money. In decision making, it's going to be to get the best value from the decision. In my case is I would like to get the best value from my job. Where I mentioned value is not money and salary. Value also means quality of life, lifestyle, healthy environment, okay? This is part of the value that I get from the job. Job is just not just money, okay? It's also experience. It's also learning the local language, learning the local culture, and a lot of other things are included in the value of the job, not just money. Money is not that important in life. Okay, so rationality means maximum value, but value doesn't mean money necessarily, okay? Here's a different type of approach, which is called bounded rationality. In a bounded rationality means that you don't always have the best information, okay? The key is sometimes what we call limited information, or you're not maximizing the full value. In a bounded rationality, you see, decisions are rational within the limits, and here's the key: to process information. The limit to process information. And the limit to process information means we don't have complete information, okay? We don't know everything beforehand. Example, I'm thinking of coming before to work to Thailand, but the question is, wouldn't Cambodia be a better place? Okay? Wouldn't, I don't know, Myanmar be a better place? Wouldn't Laos be a better place? Well, what about Nepal, right? So, but the point is, I don't know. I ask a person, says, oh, Thailand is great, go there, you're gonna love it, okay? I ask another person, says, oh, I've never been to Nepal, I don't know, okay? So, the part about bounded rationality is that you don't always know about decision. Example, you are in high school and you have to choose university. You can choose this one, or you can choose university in Bangkok, or you can choose some other university. Well, the basic problem is that you don't know if you will like the university. You don't know what the life is going to be there. You don't know if you're going to get good teachers or bad teachers, okay? So this is not about being stupid or smart, and this is not about being lazy and not doing the research. Just in life, you don't know exactly. You can guess. You can come on campus for a day or two. You can ask a few students here and you can ask a few students there, but you can't really know, okay? So that's, again, bounded rationality. Bounded rationality is based on limited information. 1 year later, you know a lot better. You've been here living for 1 year, maybe 2 years. Then you have a lot more information. Another one is called satisficing. And satisficing is about just accepting a solution which is good enough, okay? I do a lot of satisficing in my early days when I come here about food. I'm just looking at food. I don't know. It's the same thing. I don't know if this meal is going to be good or if this meal is better, okay? I never eat this meal. I never eat that meal, okay? I don't know. I cannot judge. I never eat. I've never seen this food, okay? So So what I do is, okay, this is good enough. Okay, this is good enough. Okay, looks good, seems good. Okay, I'll try this one. Okay, that's basic satisficing. Satisficing is you choose something which is just, okay, good enough, I'm not going to worry. When I was renting the motorcycle, I wasn't picking the best motorcycle. I wasn't trying to do the best. I just needed something, and I said, okay, this motorcycle is good enough. I'll take it for 1 month, okay? It gets the job done for me. It's going to get me to the supermarket. It's going to get me to Central, right, or Big C, or wherever I want to go, okay? So that's the second type which we do. We also do, again, satisficing when we have limited information. I don't know if this food is good. I don't know that food is good, okay? And the same thing, the guy is saying, you can take this bike or you can take that bike. But I don't know which one is better, okay? I could know if I ride one bike for 1 week, and then I ride the other bike for 1 week, okay? Then I will know. But otherwise I just say, okay, let's give a quick ride, good enough. And today we finish with escalation of commitment. An increased commitment to a previous decision despite evidence that it may have been a poor one. This is very common in business. I will provide an example which is very, very common in universities. When I was working in a previous university, the student, and I had 2 or 3 students who were totally unhappy, okay? They say, this university is really bad, we don't like it. And I said, well, why don't you just leave? He says, well, but I already spent 1.5 years, I already have credit. And I told him, look, but you're going to change your life. You're going to have a much better university, much better life, much better friends, much better professors, okay? You're going to do a whole lot better. But they say, well, but I already choose that university. I don't want it to change. I don't want to lose the credit, okay? And all the other things. And then we do the same thing. Say, look, but it's okay. Nothing wrong with, he says, but I have to study 1 more year. And I told him, it's much better to study 1 more year at a better place, in a better university, than spend 2 more years here being totally unhappy, okay? Very similar situation with people common is getting married, and after 2 years you're not happy about the marriage, but you just stay anyway in the marriage because you know it's already a poor, bad decision, but don't just get a divorce quickly, okay? And people very often will get a divorce after 10 years, after 15 years, after 20 years. So they see by the 2nd, 3rd, 4th year that the marriage is not good. But they still keep the marriage going. Similar with businesses. You got a chain of hotels, okay, 3, 4, 5 hotels. All hotels are working okay. One hotel is not working, losing money, okay? You just shut it down. But they don't want to do that thing. So the point is, they make a bad decision, they make a big mistake, and commonly they will not fix it, they will not change it, because they hope it's going to get better. 3 years of bad marriage, okay, let's try 1 more. Maybe it's going to get better. Or 3 years the hotel is losing money. Okay, hopefully next year it gets better. And that's a very, very common type of mistake. And the escalation, maybe I'll explain next time, okay? All right, this is good enough for today. Enjoy, the weekend? Not yet. Okay, good enough, finished.